and welcome to Group Exercise Online with the YMCA of York and York County. My name is Justin. I'm a group exercise instructor at the Southern Branch YMCA in Shrewsbury, Pennsylvania. Today, we are going to be doing a virtual online Tai Chi Academy. This will not be a typical exercise program. The reason I say that is we're learning a form from Tai Chi, so we'll be breaking down the movements, learning choreography, and trying to make it flow. What this will not be is a symmetrical workout that will get both the left and right sides of the body. The format for this academy will be presenting a new form or series of forms, going through those forms step by step, piece by piece, trying to include elements that make them flow, and then we'll go through the entire form up to this point. The classes will be numbered from 1 through however many we do, so that you can follow along and build the form. What this will mean is that there will be a little bit of a learning curve. You have to start with number 1 before you do number 5, because you'll be missing those pieces of the form, at least the instruction of them. Each video will be about 15 to 20 minutes long, and we'll be teaching individual forms from the Sun Style Tai Chi. This is adapted from the longer 73 form. We're going to start with a 6 form and build from there. So each section of the form, before we move to a new section, we will do mirror image left and right, so that by the end we will have a complete mirror image form that generally will take between 5 to 8 minutes to complete. So to start with some Tai Chi basics, this is a good place to start. In Sun Style Tai Chi is what we call a small frame form, which means that the movements are not real large and exaggerated. They're going to be fairly small stances. The reason for this is in Tai Chi we want to be what's called single weighted. We want to avoid being double weighted. So double weighted is where I am now, with the weight spread evenly over both feet. In Sun Style Tai Chi, predominantly the entire weight of the body is going to be on one leg at a time. So if I'm doing a form brush knee push, right now all of my weight is going to be on my stance leg and none of the weight on the back leg. Conversely, if I do playing the lute, all of my weight is on my stance leg and none of it is on the front leg. So all of our forms, we're trying to get that and really going from single leg stance to single leg stance. So our phases are going to be learning the form, we're learning the step-by-step choreography, refining the position, and then adding flow. So at first, it might not have a nice, clean flow, because we're going to be emphasizing that weight shift left to right and trying to keep our weight on one leg or the other. I think this is important to start with because it will really improve leg strength over time. Another piece to this format is I will be demonstrating the moves as a mirror image toward the screen. Periodically, I will turn to give a different piece of the movement, but I will always do it front on and side on. Depending on comments and feedback, I can also add a separate series of videos that will demonstrate back on. So without further ado, welcome to YMCA of York and York County's online Tai Chi Academy, and here we go. So we're starting our first stance, basic Sun Style stance, is called Wu Chi, or no movement. The feet are going to be in a V shape with the ankles closer together. So I have 5 rules to Tai Chi, and the first rule is that everything should be relaxed. So notice that whenever I do this, the rules will be in completely different order, and that's okay. So to be relaxed, the feet do not have to be directly touching. It's just you want the toes wider than the heels. The other thing about Wu Chi is we want to sink down. So we don't want to be this really upright, rigid stance, relaxing the knees, sinking down, and flattening out the lower back. Your position is going to be dependent on how low you can go without the knees going past the toes. So you can see here my hips shift forward. This puts a lot of strain on the thighs, the knee joint, and the calves will get really tired. So I want you to think about sitting on a really tall stool, almost going backwards a little bit as you lower down. This helps us stay very vertical, and it takes some pressure off of the lower joints of the body. As you progress, you can take lower stances as long as the trunk is upright. So we have Wuchi stance. We're going to do, in this video, we're going to do commencement form and open and close hands. So to start with, commencement form, I have the hands, palms face, as if you're holding a ball about the size of your own head, space under the armpits, and the top of the head toward the ceiling, long spine. Relax here, take a breath. From here, and just walking through the basic blocking of the movement, we're going to lift the hands to shoulder height, thumbs face the screen, fingertips face the floor. Reversing the movement, we're going to rotate the fingers up, almost making a pyramid, and then sweep back down toward the belly button. As you lower the hands, you're going to sink into the posture. From there, stepping out with your left leg, and I'm going to have it step forward at a little bit of an angle, but with the toes pointed toward the screen. So this means I don't step this way and shift forward toward the side. My foot is angled toward the screen, but as I shift forward, there's space between the feet. So I'm not stepping here. I'm stepping a little bit to the side with the toes angled toward the screen. This way, when I shift forward, I can step up and have the feet parallel in a wider stance. So let's do that again. Starting with the feet in a V shape. Commencement form. Lift and lower. Fingertips point down. Make a pyramid and sweep down. Step and reach. Stepping with the left foot and reach toward the screen. Shifting forward. Weight coming to your left leg. Step up and sink the elbows. Our next movement is open and close hands. We inhale, open the shoulders width. Exhale, close. Back to the center. So let's break these movements down. We have basic choreography. Let's go through the basic steps one more time. Starting with commencement form, feet form a V shape, knees relaxed, space under the armpits. Those are our essential points. Sink, relax, V shape. Basic movements for commencement form. Lift and lower. Step and reach. Step up and sink the elbows. Open and close hands. We inhale, open the shoulders width. Exhale, closing. Reaching out and lowering down. Switching the angle, I'm going to do a side view so we can refine the movements of the lower body first and then the upper body. So feet on the V shape. The leg closest to the screen for me is going to be the left leg. Starting with our Wuchi stance. So knees relaxed, palms face, shoulders down. Commencement form. So this is half an arc. I'm coming up, straightening the knee a little bit, and lowering down, bending the knee and sinking a little bit. Before I step, I'm going to shift the weight to my right leg or my farther leg, stepping out with the left. So you see when I step, I'm not shifting any weight forward. I'm not committing anything. I actually came to Tai Chi from yoga, and in yoga, it's like we got a really big warrior one. You can get a low stance. But in Tai Chi, you want to try to keep that single leg stance. So we're only going as far as you can lower down, put the heel out, and stay balanced without shifting any weight forward. Shifting forward, keeping the trunk upright, knee shouldn't go past the toe, but I'm trying to load my weight into this leg and hip. Step up and sink the elbows. So again, a little bit faster, starting with the feet in the V shape. As you lift the hands, we're straightening up into the knees a little bit. As you lower, we're sinking down. Step and reach. Left leg steps, shift forward, shift the weight, step up, and sink the elbows. One more time. And then we'll look at the hands. So we lift and lower, up and down. Trying to keep the toes from clenching, but keep the weight from shifting back to the heels. Step and reach, and step up and sink the elbows. You can practice that a couple times. I would encourage you to do both sides, trying to make sure that you can step without shifting the weight, and then you can load all the weight forward so that you don't have to shift farther forward to step up. We want to step far enough that we can shift the weight. I'm 100% here, and I can just bring the leg up without having to shift further. That will really help improve your leg strength and coordination. Looking at the arms for commencement form and for open and closed hands. So I'm not going to address the lower body too much other than to say the basic cueing. So in our commencement form, we start palms face as if you're holding a ball about the size of your own head. We're leading with the upper blade of the thumb, sweeping up, thumbs point out, fingers down. Elbows going to stay slightly relaxed. Turn the fingers up, and now we're leading with the bottom blade or the bottom of the wrist and pull down. So if you look at it, it's a curve coming up and around and back down the other way. You can think of your arm like an octopus tentacle. They call it proximal initiation, distal expression. So we start the movement here and it flows through. Starting down, we sweep up and sweep down, step and reach. So again, trunk upright as you reach out. Hands are soft, you're not tense. Fingers are open, but you're not reaching really and extending the elbow and the shoulder all the way. Reach, step, and for open and closed hands, we want the hands to be 2 fists or more in front of the body, about level with your sternum or armpit height. The hands, again, almost make a pyramid. You can go anything from palms face but don't touch. I like a relaxed position so the shoulders and elbows hang. You can see the elbows down, or an inhale open, exhale close. Reach out and lower down. So let's do the whole thing together, facing toward the screen. I'm going to start with my feet in a V shape, and we'll do commencement form and open and close hands. Relax, and 3, 2, 1. So here's, I said with my right leg that time, even though I've been saying left the whole time. You can do either leg. The principles are the same, and I would encourage you to do either leg. So again, in the next video, we'll add a new form or two. We'll break those movements down. I'll do a quick recap on our previous forms, and then we'll do the whole thing as a series. So thank you for joining us. The last thing that we're going to do is our Tai Chi Bound, which is the left hand makes a C shape. Right hand fits underneath, so you have an egg. Bow toward the screen with the knuckles out, coming up and tap the sides. And this stands for heaven and earth, country and family, coming together in harmony and peace. So from our family at the York County YMCA to yours, from my living room, thank you very much for joining us in the online Tai Chi Academy. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, subscribe down below, hit the notification bell to know when new content is added.